St. Nicholas saved my life. He saved my life. When I was a young buck, I fell in with a bad crowd. Hell's herd. Meanest fawns in the northern hemisphere, bar none. We used to go out drinking, getting into fights, knocking over igloos. One time, an Eskimo called us herbivores. We sank his kayak. I used to have a tattoo of a flaming deer skull with a fiery tail, like a comet. So I got my nickname, Skull. I don't have it anymore. I got rid of it. Had it branded over. It's a snow cone now. St. Nick took me away from all that. When you think of young bucks gone bad, that was me. We used to roam the range looking for trouble. But there's not a lot of trouble on the range. So one night, we went to the city. And we're high on cocaine, and we're flying between buildings and zooming low over the traffic. These city people think they're really tough. But they shit themselves when they see a reindeer flying at their windshield. You want to know about tough? Tough is carving your name into a brick wall using nothing but your antlers and a shot of gin as an anesthetic. And then this one time, we decided to rob a liquor store. Well, at this point, I'm so fucked up, I don't know what's going on. So, might have been the cocaine, might have been the fifth of gin that I had, but I think it was that bad marijuana. You see, we never smoked pot before, and we wanted to give it a try. Now, don't get me wrong, we're no strangers to the evil weed, but, you know, out in the field, you just eat it off the bush. So, this whole rolling it in papers and smoking it thing, it was a novelty. It sounded like fun. So we beat up a couple of junkies, and they must have had some really bad shit. Because I get in the liquor store, and all of a sudden these fireworks go off. And I'm staring at the pretty colors, and all of a sudden the shopkeeper blasts me with the .22 that he keeps under the counter. They sent me to the animal shelter, and what am I going to do? I'm fucking delirious. They thought I was rabid. They're going to put me down. But then, somebody remembered the work that St. Nick does with troubled deer. They called him in. And he took me out of there, helped me get my life together. He gave me a job. He helped me straighten out. And every time I read about these young bucks goring each other to death in gang fights, or getting drunk and stepping out in front of somebody's pickup truck, I think to myself, it could have been me. It was me. And the only thing that kept me from being just another roadkill, or just another nameless head mounted on somebody's trophy room wall, was St. Nick. And there ain't anybody here that can't tell you the same. Ask him. Ask Dasher. Ask Dancer. Ask Prancer where his career would be without the 8 at the top of his resume. Ask Cupid. Ask him what he was doing before St. Nick found him. Ask him if he wants to go back. They'll tell you it doesn't matter, but it does. It all matters. Because St. Nick has made a life out of making people happy. That's what makes this whole thing such a travesty. And you hear Blitzen with her feminist bullshit. And she wants you to forget that this is the same man who created the first ever reindeer team to admit does and bucks on an equal basis. You want to talk about sexual harassment? Let's talk about the elves. They were towel boys at an Irish brothel when St. Nick found them. But he took them out of there. And he started the Toy Maker Apprenticeship Program so they could retrain, learn a skill that they could use. He sponsors Big Brothers, Big Sisters of America, the Special Olympics, UNICEF, and the Christmas Run. And then you hear these stories about Vixen and the latest in the Rudolph saga. And it just doesn't sound like the same man. Because it's not. It's not the same man. One of them is a lie, and the other is St. Nick. Rudolph was just a deformed, retarded reindeer buck when Santa found him. But he gave him a chance to be somebody, to be important. He showed him that somebody had faith in him, somebody believed in him when nobody else did, not even his own father. No, he didn't really lead the team. But I don't see how years later that could send him in some kind of catatonic stupor. And all the gossip mongers, they want to take this whole Rudolph thing and turn it into something warped and perverted. And it just makes me angry. How can they do this? It doesn't make any sense. Maybe it makes perfect sense. Why don't we go as Vixen would happen to Rudolph? I mean, after all, who are the ones that are really pushing this whole perverted accusation? The perverts! Blitzen, Vixen, Cupid, two lesbians and a fag. And some people want to say, oh no, they're not lesbians. Yes, they are. You ever see the way they look at each other? Like they know something that the rest of us don't? And yeah, they've had mates, but that does not mean that they haven't gone doe-to-doe. But at the very least, all three of them are bisexual. And they're not going to stop until everybody in the world is bisexual. Even if it means ruining the good name of the one man who still stands for good in this world and peace on earth and family values. That's what I mean when I call them perverts. Because I'm in no place to judge anybody's lifestyle. But when you ruin the good name of somebody like this, a guy who's done so much good for so many people, including you personally, that is fucking warped. It's not just warped, it's unfathomable. And it is not in the Christmas spirit. I shouldn't even let it get to me. I should just laugh it off. Ho, 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 St. Nick did what? You're kidding. But they're not kidding. This is not a joke. They're serious. They are dead serious. They think they're going to rid the world of St. Nicholas? They wouldn't be the first ones to try. There is a lot of crazies out there. And every Christmas it's something new. Some mom who says that he molested her child because she doesn't want to admit that it might have been her husband or her new boyfriend. Razor blades in the stockings. Somebody pissing down your chimney. But nothing has ever been proven. I guess when you're a living saint, you're a target for this kind of thing. You know what scares me this time about this whole Vixen thing? Is that people believe her. People are listening. It scares me that they're giving her any credibility whatsoever. That people don't just stand up and walk right out of the room anytime somebody starts talking about it. You know, back in the 80s, if somebody would have accused St. Nick of rape, nobody would have believed her. Nobody would have listened. She would have been the one brought up on charges. But now, the fact that people believe her, it scares the hell out of me. That they want to know the truth. The fact that you're asking me this in the first place, it scares the hell out of me. Did St. Nick molest? Did he sexually assault one of the reindeer? How could you ask me that? You know the answer. He's a good man. I mean, they didn't make him a saint for his looks. I'm not being disrespectful. I mean, that's just the way it is. Joan of Arc, St. Patrick, glamour saints. But the Catholic Church did not elect Nicholas to sainthood because it was glamorous. They did it because beneath that bowl full of jelly, it's a heart of gold. behind and up a little. And if he's overweight and out of shape, and he drinks a little, it's only because he's under a lot of pressure all year, not just at Christmas. And if he doesn't spend all of his money on gym memberships and personal trainers, if he's not in the gym every single day playing racquetball between meetings like these fucking lawyers, and if he doesn't put the reindeer's demands for better working conditions at the top of his list, then it's because there's higher priorities. And he wasn't put on this earth to make the 8 of us happy. He wants to make the whole world happy. And if he could only do that one day out of the year, then it's because of people like this. Like Vixen. Like Blitzen. Like these fucking journalists who care more about news that sells than news that's true. Because of these goddamn lawyers who'll spit in the face of tradition if it means they can make a quick buck. It's because of people all over the world who don't have the moral fortitude to pick up their remote control and change the channel. Who don't have the strength of character to say, no, I will not listen. No, I will not be party to this. No, this is not happening. No.